Cloud 9. How about Cloud Zombie? Apparently a type of bath salts drug, which Miami police have linked to face mauling case. Yeah, the guy was on a cocktail of drugs, his blood showed. But the one we know does it the worst right here is Xanax. Xanax, AFP, MSNBC. But the headline should be, Xanax causes another psychotic break. And folks, if you mix Xanax, Prozac, stuff like that with other drugs, oh my gosh, you're just asking, like the guy that shot the cop for no reason in the Walmart here in Austin. What was he on? Xanax. Xanax and alcohol. I've talked to people who'll have a car wreck, and they'll come in and say, you might be a little depressed since you've cracked your vertebra. Not just painkillers. We want to put you on Xanax. I was talking to one friend who'd never had any problems in his life. 2 days into Xanax, he drank a couple beers and woke up like 7 hours later in his car with his rifle on the other side of town. I mean, you mix alcohol, ladies and gentlemen, with Xanax, we're talking crazy, man. We're talking PCP looks tame. So, of course, the guy was on. I said last week on the road, I said, you watch, he's going to be on some type of serotonin reuptake inhibitor, or it's another class, something like Xanax. I know a lot of Hollywood people that get on illegal drugs, and sure, they're bad, it screws them up, and they go to the doctor and they say, hey, we'll put you on Xanax. And then what happens when you go on the Xanax? Well, I'm not going to mention any names, but have we seen some Hollywood stars go a little wacky on air? How did they invent heroin? Into the Civil War, hundreds of thousands of people were amputees. Had incredible pain, musket balls in their spines, you name it. They'd gotten addicted after their leg was shot off, or their arm, to opium. So a chemist figured out, at a big pharma company, connected to the Rockefellers, I should add, a chemist figured out how to make something that you wouldn't want opium anymore, because it's roughly 10 times stronger. It's called heroin, and it's made, it's like, oh, you don't want to snort cocaine anymore? Here, try crack. It'll get you off that cocaine. It's just souped up cocaine. So that's what's going on here. And the reason I digressed off into this is how copycat media works. You've got a population mixing a bunch of drugs together, legal and illegal. You've got zombies all over television in every, I mean, this country's zombie crazy. Everybody knows that. And people now have it subliminally, well, not even, it's overtly implanted in their minds that what you do is bite people. I'm going to be honest. I've been attacked before by 5 or 6 people growing up in Dallas. I'm on the bottom of a dog pile, panicking. I can't breathe. There's an arm right there. People won't get off of me. You'd be surprised what your teeth can do. Most people hold back. I just bit right into the bone, ripped a big chunk right out of the guy. Believe me, this heard some hollering, some screaming. They got off me real quick. I mean, your dog can bite you. It's okay. I mean, look, I can see the headline now. Was Mike Tyson the first zombie? In fact, I remember after that happened with Mike Tyson, there was a rash of ear biting that happened. Every time a woman chops her boyfriend's male member off, you'll see a couple of copycats the next week. Every time in Chicago or New York or LA, for that matter, some person jumps off a skyscraper that doesn't have proper fences or netting, the police station cops up there, because they know that when it's on the news, somebody just jumped off the Empire State Building, that day, people that are thinking about suicide are going to go, you know what, I'm going to do that too. I'm going to go jump off the Empire State Building. It's the same thing. So as they hype this and as society degenerates, they're going to call any of this zombie. Was I a zombie one time when I bit somebody? No, they wouldn't get off of me. Like 4 or 5, I forget people. I wasn't going to sit there, and just let them suffocate me. There was an arm sticking down in front of me. And so I just said, well, I'm just going to bite into that full power, see how they like it. And they got off real fast. So, again, am I a zombie? No, I'm not a zombie. But I do use the tools the good Lord gave me. And let me tell you, they're good. Now, this is different, though, if you're just running around wanting to eat people's faces. You've got people hallucinating on Xanax with other drugs mixed with it, out of their minds, who've watched probably 50 zombie movies, and it's in the subconscious to do it. It's going to happen. That's the power of media. They came out in the 60s with all these TV shows about SWAT teams, and then everybody had to have one. And now they have all these movies where there's always checkpoints on highways. So you think it's normal when it happens. This is conditioning. Look at the anti-family messages in every major sitcom where the men are idiots and the women run everything. And so now women want to run everything and treat men with disdain like they're idiots. The women's magazines talk about it. Every major message coming out of the globalist is negative. This article by Joe Klein in Time magazine, How to Kill Yourself, How to Do It, How to Die. He talks horrible about his father and mother and how pathetic they were and how great it was when they were finally dead. And it's super trendy that all of this happens. And the death panels are cool and Bill Gates is great and that's all coming up. But it just shows you need to understand how vicious these messages really are. Guys, I had my article on that here. Oh, here it is. Time magazine pushes death agenda. Remove feeding tubes from the dying elderly and get a cash bonus. Oh, yeah, it gets worse. And it goes on. It's trendy to kill your parents. Didn't you know? And you're like, wow, this is really getting nuts. Yeah, the government says we're spying on you without warrants. We're secretly arresting you. Yes, 30,000 drones to be armed. All of this is in your face now. You have to ask the question why. Because it's meant to break your political will. It's the Overton window. They know that there's what's politically accepted today is not what was politically accepted 20 years ago. And to move you quicker towards things, they come out in the major newspapers and go, yeah, we need to start killing kids up to 3. If you don't want your kid, even if they're perfectly healthy, it's normal to kill your child up to age 3. They're not human. And by the way, if you need eye surgery, get a cane, Joe Biden says. That's actually in the death panel reports that Daschle wrote up in his book. And they get rid of the Hippocratic Oath. People are like, come on, they're not going to have death panels. And they get on the news and say, there's no death panels. It's a conspiracy theory. Once they got health care through, they're federalizing all the care. They're telling people what treatment you can have. You know, these doctors are just profiteering with all these tests. And now they're in Time and Newsweek saying, you know what? They are called death panels, and it's good. You see how that works? They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They're politically and psychologically getting you to just get acclimated. See, the average person subconsciously sees millions of murders in their lifetime. Simulated murders on television, and then zombie movies and the video games, and it's just murder, 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 kill, kill, death, murder, 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 murder. And humans are seen as trash. You know, there's not a $1,000 fine in New Jersey if your kid's not belted into a seatbelt, but if your dog isn't, oh, you're in deep trouble. And see, the Marines kill a puppy, everybody gets upset, nobody cares if they kill a kid. Because humans, we've been taught, are trash. We're having our survival mechanism to stick together, to stand up for children, to stand up for old people, removed. But then the nanny state comes in and says, oh, neurological disorders and cancer are way up. We just need to kill people now when they get sick and not try to have heroic measures. There's too many people anyways. But don't worry, we're going to ban over 16-ounce sugar drinks, and we're going to ban salt. We're going to tell you what type of windows you can have and what type of toilet and what type of cell phone and what type of light bulbs, and we're going to run your life. And since you're all dying of cancer, we're going to start taking your red meat away from you, and we're going to have little smart cards you swipe. You're only allowed so much ice cream because look at that big fat woman. She's eating too much. And we're going to take your kids from you if they're 1 pound overweight because we're going to take care of you as they kill us. As they kill us. And so, again, we are in a total Matrix-like system. We're not in it yet. They're trying to insert us into this false reality where we just buy into whatever we're told. We don't have any moorings. or rudders of our own or compass. We just, whatever television says, well, they say kill old people. Let's read a Time magazine article about his dirty, old, ugly parents that were big trouble and wouldn't listen to him. Yeah, but they died in the end and the hospital would mess around. Man, this was great. Just so easy just to kill them. Yeah. And then I think about how, and we haven't had him on, what's his name, Wesley Smith. He's a best-selling author, Wall Street Journal writer. Hadn't had him on in like 5 years. I want him back on. He haven't seen one in a while. He wrote a best-selling book on it, 2 of them, but he had Wall Street Journal articles where they would list hundreds of people. You know, the media used as a poster girl, you know, the lady who we weren't sure if she was brain dead or not, probably wasn't, down in Florida, Terry Schiavo. They used that to sell the idea, but he got interviews on video and in print with people who were paralyzed chest down, but had gotten signed on as wards of the state. And he would go visit them day 7 of dehydration, begging, I don't want to die. Please get the courts to rule that they're not, the state's got me. They're killing me. It hurts bad. My mouth is bleeding. I'm going to pass out soon. And the nurses are like, that's your 5 minutes. He had you signed on as a visitor. Now get out. And he watched the guy killed over 14 days of dehydration. What was that guy's name? Winland? And every time I do a show on this, I open the phones up to nursing homes only, and they call up with the speaker system in the background, the what do you call it when you hit the button and talk to people? Intercom system. You'll hear them in the nursing homes in the background. You know, Dr. Johnson, Dr. Johnson. They're like, yeah, they got 3 of them on our floor right now. They're dehydrating to death. They got them chained down. They got them strapped down. Yeah, well, go ahead and tell us the name of the nursing home. All right, here's the name. They're killing them. They're begging in there right now. Yeah, oh, man, they're murdering people, and it's with the Nazis it started this way. And it's going on all over the place right now. And see, now because they're getting ready to go whole hog with this, they're letting you know about it.
For a long time, you've heard me talk about building your own food supply with
All right, I'm going back to your calls. Robert, Bill, Randy, Bill, Leon, and others. If you're watching on Prisonplanet.tv, you can see 2 things I'm about to show you. If not, just go to Infowars.com. This is the band Fun. This just recently came out. It's got masses of millions of views. Again, we'll just put that on screen for folks. And in the video, 3 minutes into it, it shows a man at a party eating somebody's face. And it's just injected in there like a subliminal. See right there? They just inject this. And again, it's eat each other, kill each other. It's fun. Death is fun. Get ready to die. Life after humans. All these publications coming out. 13 monkeys, 12 monkeys. Soon we'll all be dead. We are being sold cultural death so that we will accept it. That's why HBO came out a few months ago with a show showing 4- and 5-year-olds performing oral sex on large sex toys. It is criminal, but they're going to be allowed to do it. This is all part of the total dehumanization. The TSA, all of it is part of the dehumanization. Now, let's shift gears to the opposite of dehumanization. The Tiananmen Square tank guy was even braver than we thought. This was up at prisonplanet.com. The